Welcome to week number 3. So this week I continued working on these two guys and I started adding some bases, getting them a little bit more character to them, and really trying to figure out what I needed to do to bring them to life. And so coming over here with my borrowed lenses, I added on a little bit of a base going in with a rock texture. Last week I figured out her posture. I kind of really figured out how I was going to bring her to life because I just wasn't feeling the character. However, I did change up the glasses. I did start with, just the design for those old 3D glasses, kind of making everybody look the same. But working on it today, I was just like, it just isn't feeling the character. So, instead of, trying to make this work, it just wasn't feeling what I wanted it to do. I came up with these old school kind of wireframes that are bent, a little bit busted, and they kind of gave more of an idea, more of a concept of those borrowed lenses. This is supposed to be somebody else's old dream, somebody else's old glasses, somebody else's prescription that you are forced to kind of look through. Maybe these have lenses, maybe these don't have lenses. Maybe these are just what you were told to put on, and were told that these would help you to see. And through these glasses, through these ideals, through these concepts, you're going to be able to see what we want you to see. You're going to be able to follow the path that we have laid out for you, and we are going to be able to put you into one of these cookie cutter ideas or places in this society, in this world. Now, coming up to him, my prescription glasses. Him, I built up a little bit more of a base. As you can see, he is a little bit bigger of a character. And so that kind of just drives the concept of he is bigger, larger than life, just exploding. And so this bottom, I'm not sure if it's going to turn into clouds. I also thought maybe like pumpkins or something along the lines of that, because going back to this is, my own interpretation of the prescription glasses and going through my view, my dreams, my personal vision. I started off in around Halloween masks and loving the monsters that I was able to find and collect and create through, that horror aspect of Halloween and everything scary that kind of went into it. So I thought that. I also thought dreams with clouds, maybe something like that. So this I am still working on. I'm not exactly sure what this base is going to turn into, but I also started playing with figuring out his hair, adding in a few different volumes just to see how it would flow, going a little bit into his goggles, fitting out some of the goggles and the back, figuring out how all of that is going to work. But right now, I am happy with where he is in this exact position. And now the next step is to just continue bringing these two characters to life. With her, my borrowed lenses, she is an older, ancient type of being, type of character that has lived her whole life, but she did it through the lens of what she was told, of what she was forced into. And so it just took such a toll on her. So I kind of like that rough skin, the battered down hair that's kind of just no life, just kind of falling onto her. The base is going to be a basic structure. I am going a little bit more wild, or not necessarily wild, but I'm going a little bit different in the back, using this spatula tool just to kind of knock out and make more of a rocky paste type of texture, like a palette knife would, on like an oil painting, and see what that brings. But for her, it's just going to be about cleaning up and really nailing down what's already there and just tightening things up. With him, I still need to figure out some of the things on the face, kind of tighten up his chest, figure out what I'm going to do with the base, figure out the hair, and then the eyes. I'm still kind of contemplating on whether I want to give him eyes. A lot of my, even though he's a hero, he's not one of my demon characters. A lot of my demon characters don't have eyes because the eyes are kind of the pathway to the soul. And so a lot of them are soulless. Now, with him, I'm not thinking that exact same thing, but maybe it is a something that is not a hindrance or something holding him back. Or maybe I just need to figure out what kind of eyes, how squinty they would be, or how much of the eyelids I would include, how I would play with that. So that is still up in the air. But other than that, I'm happy with where they are. And I'm happy with really trying to challenge myself to figure out how can I describe this visually in a sculpture, in a character, in a bust at that, not even trying to add in an entire full figure to where they can kind of express a little bit more with their body, but rather creating a single bust and telling a story like this to where, the prescription glasses, they were made, they were given, they were created specifically for you. Just like glasses you would get at the store, there are certain a certain way that they are made and that they are manipulated to where now you can see this special, clear, beautiful future. And when you try to put that on somebody else, they might see it a little bit. It might be blurry, but they don't see it as clear as you. And so they are not going to be able to understand it or appreciate it or love it as much as you do. And you shouldn't expect them to, because that prescription was made for you, just like they have their own prescription for their life. Now, whether that person decided to pick up those prescription glasses and look at their own dream and focus on it, or whether they decided to live somebody else's dream, to follow somebody else, or to let somebody else tell them what they should be doing with their life, is up to them. But you're going to be wearing your prescription glasses. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this week. Keep checking me out. Follow along. Check out the other videos. If you guys have seen, some of my archives are coming up from some of my previous demons, my previous monsters, going a little bit more into the storyline. So those will be coming out shortly on a monthly basis as well. They are in 8 parts, so they will be scattered out on socials, and then they will be compiled here for YouTube. But I will see you guys next week. Go out there, create your own characters, your own sculptures. Tell me, what is it that you see and that you have a passion, a dream, a vision for yourself? And even think about, what are some of the visions, some of the ideas or thoughts or even beliefs that people tried to force on you, but you didn't take.